Um, I want to start this by saying I just opened my eyes just a little bit ago. I had this very, very interesting dream. I'll just say that. um, the dream, now somebody might be able to relate to this, so I'll just give it to straight no chaser, okay? The dream was uh at least in a sense, people seemed recognizable from previous dreams. Okay. So, again, don't know if anybody will be able to relate to this, but I'm going to give it to you as is. Basically, in the dream, I was getting high. Okay. I got high with somebody. Now, this person I got high with, don't know how else to say it except for the way I'm about to say it. So excuse me for not being politically correct or whatever. But the person I got high with was like a butchy person, okay? Very much gave just butchy period, okay? But the interesting thing about this person, it looked like my mother. Not not even that it looked like my mother too much because, like, I'm not saying that my mother's butch, but what I'm saying is it looks like my mother, okay? Um, Not only did it look like my mother, she had the energy signature of my mother, okay? So, why is this significant? We're in the time of year where there's a lot of events, right? So, uh, be mindful of that. Be mindful of people wearing masks. Be mindful of people trying to conceal their identity. Um, I also feel, you know, not only did she have the energy signature of my mother, but the significance of the fact that I didn't smoke. I didn't smoke. I took a pill, I guess. It was supposed to be a pill that I took, but the pill was supposed to be like me getting high. Okay. Um, Child in mind. But the pill was not what it was supposed to be. So the person who gave it to me, the lady who had the energy signature of my mother, was not like it was not what she said it was, number one. But number two, here's where it gets even creepier. Here's where it gets even creepier. I guess I took the pill and I started to get tired. Like I started to get sleepy. I started to get drowsy. I started to feel the effects of the pill that she gave me. And so I'm laying in bed right now with this cover. Okay. This same cover was just in the dream. Like I was covering myself up with this same blanket in the dream. And the thing is I laid down like with the intentions of like just laying down in his bed. And this lady who looked like my mother, had the same energy signature of my mother, laid in the bed with me with the intentions of being intimate with me. Now, obviously, it's not rocket science why this would be strange, right? Again, masks, people wearing masks, people creating illusions, right? The thing that gets even weirder is she almost like forcefully lays my head on her chest and kisses me on the cheek, okay? And when I make it very clear that I'm not on that, you can tell that she gets very irritated, and eventually I try to get up out of the bed and go elsewhere. Now I get up out of the bed eventually and go elsewhere to a whole nother part of my dream. Now I'm in a whole nother part of my dream and I'm inside of a bathroom, and this girl who looks very familiar, she's pregnant in the dream. I'm not sure if she's pregnant in real life. She looks very familiar, but I don't know her. Meaning like I've seen her in like mainstream media, right? But like I don't know her. But she's been in my dream on more than one occasion, almost like a messenger. She's telling me basically, did you when the pill that you took, do you know what you took? Now at first I don't tell her. I don't want to admit to her that, like, no, I don't know what I took. So I'm like, no, I feel fine, everything's great, and she's talking to me about she just got an ultrasound or whatever. She's talking to me about her baby and whatever. But the thing is at some point I eventually feel like I have to come clean to her and tell her, about what I took. And I'm like, I think you're right. There was something wrong with what I took. And she basically goes to try to shut these doors. And usually, now I've been in this place before in my dream before. This is why I had to come and tell y'all about this, because I'm like, I think somebody is gonna resonate with what I'm talking about. At least in the sense that, you'll have a dream in a particular location, you actually frequent that place in your dreams, right? So anyway, she tries to close this door that has definitely closed on other occasions in the dream, but this time the door is not shutting. Also, there's this little baby that is not her child, but another baby. I believe it belongs to the lady who has the energy signature of my mother. Um, excuse me, it's a little boy. He comes down into I guess this is supposed to be the basement where we are, and he's like trying to like get inside the room, but somehow she puts like a chain on the door, even though the door is not completely shut. It like keeps the door shut to a particular capacity, and but you could still see through it, and if you wanted to you could still move through the space, but for some reason the baby couldn't come through. Okay. um as we're in the bathroom talking, I'm realizing, first of all, that I feel very sleepy. I feel very drowsy. So I'm telling her, like, well, I did end up falling asleep, but then I got back up, and that's how we talking right now. And she's like, that's good, that's good. Just do everything that you can to stay awake. So mind you, I'm having this is all a dream. But I'm having this consciously. This is all happening consciously. Even though I'm, in sleep state, I'm still very conscious. So what do I conclude from this dream? All this I'm trying to who would this be that's pregnant and she's on the lighter skin side, but I think she's more like mixed race. Okay, she's somebody that's mixed race. Again, I can't. She's familiar to me, but for some reason, the nature of where I've seen her besides mainstream media is not very clear to me. It's not coming through clear to me. So, anywho, this person is a savior to me. She's a messenger to me. Okay, she's trying to warn me in my dream. In my waking life, as I wake up, I'm thinking to myself, okay, what does this all mean? Oh my gosh, I really don't know, to be honest. I don't know. With the exception of there could be something strange happening in regards to family. Okay. There could be something strange with something coming out with strange relationships, okay, where people are related by blood but romantically involved. Okay. I'm not trying to ruin the mood. I'm not. I'm really not. I'm just trying to tell y'all what is spiritually being downloaded right now by me. Okay. Also, I have a style that definitely is not something that I've done before, but a style, the problem or the challenge or the situation. Okay. Uh, a new style of reading. That's why I got all the cards. Okay. Um, the shadow or what's hidden. Okay. This was all coming to me in my dream, mind you. And then the results. Um, I should have actually did the advice. So this would be like ancestor advice, right? Or from the higher ups advice. And So I'm being directed to three different spreads. Now these three different spreads, I have no idea what they're about. I promise you I don't. They could be about romantic situations, they could be about friendship situations, they could be about family situations, they could be about anything, honestly. uh, I'm just this just all happened within the span of 10 minutes, so there's that. uh let's get started. Let's get started. I I hear family values and family secrets. Okay, so this could get messy. I'm not intentionally trying to be messy. I'm just letting you know it could get messy. Uh, Anytime I have a dream, especially that like shocks me, and that's definitely what that dream did. Take it lightly at all, but typically, obviously, I don't get up and stream, with the exception of a few times where I did feel compelled to stream. Has been a lot of stuff that's been happening lately. We've been talking about the government shutdown, the future of the people, right? And I've been saying more and more, sharing more and more, should I say, about how I feel in regards to how we can actually organize some smart solutions, okay? Some solutions where everybody can win, okay? I'm just gonna put on a little frequency, nothing too crazy. Let's see. I was gonna do 432 hertz, but honey, I don't want you to go to sleep just yet. I don't want you to go to sleep. Let's just do some energy cleansing. How about that? Because everything that I just dreamed feels like there's a necessity for some cleansing. So I don't know what the hell is going on, but dare I just say, like, it feels strange. Okay, you know, typically if you think about your dream from a metaphoric standpoint, what you get is not everything that happened in your dream, not every symbolism was literal. It was symbolical, right? uh but with the way that I responded, and the fact that my mother's energy, keep that in mind. And also, my mother was a boy. Uh, I listen. I'm just calling it how it is. Okay, this is what she was in the dream. I'm not saying that this is what she was in real life. Anyway, wow, a lot of tea is coming to me right now, and I don't even know if this is like intentional or not. But like, some of y'all could have parents who disowned you, cast you away, cast you out of the family, said that you were not accepted, said that you could not be part of the crew because of your sexuality. But that all was just because your parents felt like they were not free to be their sexuality in peace. No, I'm not talking about anybody. Let's just be clear, okay? Because I know I'm laughing and shit, but listen, again, I'm just calling it how it's coming to me. Um, you could very well come from a family where people did not accept you for who you were, but that was because those people didn't accept themselves for who they were because they weren't accepted by their family. Okay, so this is like a lineage of being rejected. Okay, a lineage of being rejected for your sexuality specifically. So I'm not really sure if this is like this does feel like a this is like a worldwide thing, okay, a collective thing where we have to rethink how we treat each other, and specifically, our blood, how we treat each other because of differences. Okay, and yes, even sexuality. Religion has been one of the biggest curses of my generation because it has directly cast out those who actually are here to heal the lineages, okay? There are people here to break generational curses, which means that by default they came into this world with a bunch of non-conformities, we'll just put it like that, okay? A lot of the aspects of these individuals, they defy the odds, they defy what society's rules say you can and cannot be, as a woman or as a person of color, or etc., 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 okay? So this feels like differences that are being highlighted, um, and almost, I feel like this could have been spirit giving me this dream, because it's like, what would you do if you were in your child's shoes type of situation, like, would you how would you feel if you were rejected? How would you feel if your own child told you that they didn't want you to be a part of their life because of your sexuality? It's kind of like role reversal type of energy. Like, yeah, if the tables were turned, what the fuck would be the outcome? Okay, so that's very interesting, very very interesting. So the first spread that I'm gonna go with, I'm just doing this intuitively. Keep this in mind. I have the relationship cards. I oddly enough don't feel like this has anything to do with romance though. So there's that. Matter of fact, it doesn't. We got untrue stories. You tell yourself bad things, change your stories and see the good that can happen. But this is about other individuals though. This is about people who have standards, laws that they abide by spiritually, religiously, that actually have separated people from the bloodline. Or we'll just say, like, cast them out, because nobody can separate anybody from a bloodline, right? But these stories about who can and cannot be accepted, who can and cannot be embraced and be given love. I do feel as if people are starting to be face to face with themselves, and I'm talking about people who have, parents who have cast their children out, parents who have gone against their children in like a competitive type of way, or just waged war on their children for whatever reasons. A lot of these parents, they're facing themselves right now because they're realizing that they something that they thought was actually going to positively impact, it actually it almost like left a stain. It created a curse in a way. So while these children who are quite different than the usual, um, have come into this world and have been casted out by their parents, they're the ones that are actually here to heal the generational curses. So while they are here healing those generational curses without their family, okay, they're doing this as the lone wolves, but still healing simply by walking their own path and staying true to themselves, right? Staying true to their identity. uh they're healing generational curses, but the parents are single-handedly creating a whole nother curse just by rejecting the children. So then what does that do? Well, it doesn't fuck up everybody in the bloodline. Now it only fucks up the parents. So the parents are being cursed. Okay, this is crazy. This is a lot. So let's look at the problem. The problem is untrue stories that have been carried through time, okay, uh over eras of time where certain roles weren't accepted for women, um certain people weren't accepted into society. Okay, interesting. This is different for sure. Okay, there's also there's also, okay, so are we doing three of these, or like where we going with this, spirit? So the other problem, or the other aspect of this, the other aspect of this, okay, so they're like giving me a domino effect. Okay, so what happens when you get rejected for who you are? When you get rejected for who you are, you reject yourself. Now, this doesn't happen to everybody, obviously, but for who it applies to. And it's more common than you realize. You get rejected by your family, you reject yourself, and then you, damn, I don't know why they're telling me about, like, you basically miss out on the people that are your people because you're rejecting yourself, which essentially means that you are rejecting the people that are meant to find you in this lifetime as well, because you're being yourself, right? So they'll find you. You'll attract your people by being your authentic self. But if you're not being your authentic self, you'll find a lot of people who are not your people. So this is really what I'm getting. It's like some whoever I'm speaking to, speaking through, speaking about are individuals who understand what I'm saying, because you're either currently surrounded by several people who are not your people, or you were at one time surrounded by several people who were not your people, and you're recognizing why that was. Okay, so I'm hearing something about hereditary. Now here's the other aspect of this that I want to mention. I do feel like it's interesting that some people get rejected for being gay. Okay, because I'm gonna just keep it raw and funky. I do feel like it's interesting that some people get rejected for being gay, because a lot of times there are other members in the family who are also gay. Not necessarily, maybe within the maternal, you know I'm not talking about like in your family, I mean in your household, but maybe in your extended family, your aunts, your uncles, your cousins, your grandmothers, you know what I mean? So um wow. So that's the problem, okay? That is the problem, that's the challenge. What's the shadow? What's hidden? Keep in mind, I not only was I not planning to do this, I just woke up out my sleep, like I told y'all. But also, I don't think it's coincidence that the power went out last night. That storm that we had was so bad, and it was crazy because it kind of like came out of nowhere. I guess other people knew that it was going to happen, but remember, I don't watch the news, so like I don't stay up on the times like that. When it comes to the weather, I just pretty much go outside and be like, "Oh yeah, it's gonna rain, or it's gonna sunshine, or whatever." Yesterday, I wasn't planning for that to happen, but when the power knocked out, I kind of did like a little cheer. I was a little excited, I was a little happy. Something feels good about a storm right now, and i'm not really sure if that's I'm not really sure if that's translating to people or not, but like, me seeing a storm is proof that the spirit is moving. Okay, so, what is the shadow? Okay, the shadow is, yeah, this is crazy. The shadow is these individuals that never were seen as valuable are now being seen as valuable. And it's so interesting because I don't know why we're coming back to David and Celeste, but here we are back to David and Celeste, because that card that had came out before we knew anything about the David and Celeste case, that card that kept coming out, the Prince of Pentacles in the David Bowie deck, is coming out again. Okay, and um I can't help but see that same message that was coming up at that time, again, before we even knew what any of that was. But now, the way that it's coming up it is speaking about people, children who have now gone on to become adults, who always felt like they could not be their true self, always felt like they were not able to fully show up because of their sexuality. Uh, it's a lot of situations right now where people are currently going through therapy or currently on a spiritual journey where they are trying to correct, okay, their way of thinking about themselves, because they're realizing that there wasn't anything wrong with them. There was something wrong with the motherfuckers who tried to reject them. Okay, so the mamas and the daddies. Other interesting thing is, while I'm looking at these three cards that came out for the problem, there's this group of people who, I don't know, they all look different because, you know, they're black, white, some got kinky hair, some got straight hair. They all look different, right? But interesting enough, they all look like, in this particular reading, they look like they're supposed to be family. There's these people who are all in this huddle judging someone, okay, who's in the spotlight. They're judging them and making their assessment. Some are being very critical. Uh, and in the midst of all of this, there's these individuals who've been rejected, who are currently being judged, and they're just fully being themselves, unaware of what's happening or not concerned about what's happening. And the thing is what it feels like is these people who are being judgmental are starting to realize something, that as much as they've been critical and harsh to this person, uh it's kind of like falling, like it's coming back on them, basically, like the harshness of their judgments, just being stereotypical and all of that in general, it's coming back on them. Wow, this is kind of nasty, but like I have to tell y'all this. As I'm telling you this, I've been had this bump on my finger, on my index finger, for the past like couple months or whatever, and I couldn't for the life of me figure out what the hell it was. And suddenly, like it was like real big, like it was swollen the other day, right? And I'm like, what the hell? There's something in my finger, something up underneath my finger. This is nasty, sorry, but like I just gotta tell y'all. And um now all of a sudden, as I'm sitting here talking to y'all, channeling, um the bubble is no longer a bubble. It's like I'm like actually like squeezing it right now, which is again nasty, I know. But nothing is oozing out. What's happening though is like it's like all white like a pimple, right? And whatever was in there, like it's like dust is coming out. It's nasty as shit. Yo, I don't know what the hell that is, what the hell that would be. Like I thought it was a boil, right? But anyway, I don't know why the fuck I stopped to tell y'all that, because that's not significant to this reading. Anyway, there are all these people who are in your family. Now I'm gonna speak directly to the weirdos, to the rebels, to the visionaries, to the lone wolves. You have a family that is full of imposters. um, Either they're suffering from imposter syndrome or they're just imposters. They don't want to be themselves because they were either told that they can't be themselves, or they don't feel safe enough to do so, right? They feel like it's easier to be someone else. So this family of imposters, this family that wears many masks, and these people who I feel like these are black people for sure. They love to cosplay white people. Okay, they love to participate in the reindeer games. Okay, whatever the white people say is correct to do, that's what they that's what they do. That's how they live their life. We could even be talking about people who have white people in their family. Like, this could be literal. You could literally have white people in your family, but I also feel like this is people cosplaying white people. Okay, so take it how it applies. Um, Interesting thing that about these people in your family, they all have something to hide. They all have their own skeletons. They all have their own reasons to really take a look in the mirror before they go and try to speak on you. Okay, these individuals feel like people who have been heavily critical your whole life. Okay, so you could have always been the outcast. This wasn't just something that happened when you were, older. This feels like something that has been happening since you've been alive, actually. People in your family pretty much just outcasting you. Okay, saying that you don't look the part. Is something strange about you. You're off, you're awkward. All right, these people are starting to realize that, like, you are the blueprint. Okay, now the problem with that is, number one, they thought that they were the blueprint this whole time. So not only are you stirring people up because people are starting to see that they're not going to win by tearing you down, you're stirring people up because, like, they have to come back to you. And they don't want to do that. Like, not after everything that they've done, not ever after everything that they've said about you. No, they still, even some of them, have these negative feelings about you, regardless if you are the chosen one or not, regardless if you are the one healing the bloodline or not. They don't care how many generational curses you are breaking. They don't want to down to you. They don't want to give you your flowers. They don't want to acknowledge you as someone who is significant, because you defy. You are a rebel. Okay, and something about that, it burns this person up. This person. Okay, so there's one person in particular. Now, you could have siblings. Okay, if you do have siblings, the person I'm speaking about is a sibling. Okay, this is a sister or a brother. This sister or this brother hates to live in your shadow. That's how they feel. They feel like, even though you've always been outcasted and such, like, they still also feel like at the same time, you, like, no matter how much of a challenge you've had, you still are a threat to them, because even by being different and experiencing the controversy that you've experienced, like, that makes them have to live in your shadow too. Like, something about your life story feels way more significant than theirs. Okay, even though you guys come from the same background. This is crazy. This is getting deep. Okay, I told you, the shadow. This is the shadow. uh yeah, there's a sister. I'm specifically getting sister. There's a sister, a specific sister, they're saying, that has a vendetta against you. And I feel like it's unbeknownst to you, though. I feel like you would be shocked to know how this sister has always felt about you. So I'm not sure if, like, you're close with this sister now. It doesn't really feel like it, but, like, I don't know. Take it how it applies. But in any event, you'd be shocked to find out how this sister really feels. Okay, um, there's just this feeling of, she's always felt like she had to live in your shadow. She's always felt like she's had to be as good as you, while at the same time you didn't even feel as good as you. Ooh, man, crazy, right? I know. So I'm not really sure what the hell's about to happen, but, like, apparently there's some type of situation where you're gonna come face to face with some people from your family. Okay, I'm not really sure how this is coming about, but somehow you're coming face to face. There could be some type of reunion or some type of celebration, some type of family gathering, and there you are with these people, and devastating enough, okay, uh it's, to add insult to injury, you find out that, the sister that you always treasured is, she don't feel the same. Okay. All right. What's the advice? Goodness, this is very deep. I hate to say it like this, but like this sister feels full of hate and rage. Okay. This feels definitely like a possession. You know, we can talk about envy and jealousy and that sort of thing, but we also have to talk about the fact that envy and jealousy are spirits. Okay. These are demonic possessions. All right. People get possessed with these false feelings of competition and rivalry, especially against their own blood. And 9 times out of 10, this is false. It comes from a place, you know, there's no validity to it. Okay, there's no validity to it. Yeah, I'm really seeing what I'm telling you right now. Four of Wands, Four of Cups as that advice, right? It's like you have to separate from somebody, the sister. And I feel like this is more of like a separation, like you have to mentally make a separation, which creates emotional discourse. Okay. Like you don't feel good about the fact that you have to leave behind this sister, but you do, because it's like you could give people an opportunity to get it right. You can do the best that you can to try to give people guidance and give people advice and insight into you know how to be better, but it's ultimately up to those individuals to choose to be better. And it doesn't seem like this sister is gonna get it together in enough time before it's like, it's like at this point it's like you gonna either be stuck here trying to drag your sister out the motherfucking fire while the building is burning down, or you could run your ass out the building and save yourself. Cause this sister, it's almost like this sister's like, no, save yourself, I'm not gonna make it. Okay, now the sister's not actually saying that. It's more of me just metaphorically speaking, because this sister is stubborn. She refuses to get her shit right. Okay, she refuses to acknowledge what needs to change, what needs to heal. And in fact, healing in itself is one of those things that it seems like too big of a task for her. So will she do it? Will she fix it, Bob the Builder? No, she won't. So, the result. What is the result, Spirit? Shit, crazy thing enough. Don't even gotta pull no cards on this. The result is sovereignty. The result is freedom. Like, you don't realize it, but by you being connected to anyone in this family, you are in a sense hindering yourself. You are harming yourself. And so you have to get away from these people. Okay. The result is you going to have to go on an introspective journey. Okay. Go inward and take some time alone by yourself, because you're going to really be realizing some shit. All right. Um, I'm going to be honest. I wasn't expecting this message to go this direction when I started streaming it, but I'm gonna end it because I wasn't expecting it to go this direction. But I'll be back whenever I'm back. Love ya.